You're ready.
Let's do it.
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
I'll do it over. So, what are your names?
My name is Jack Wilburn, sometimes known as Evelyn Everything, when I'm dressed in drag. I first got into drag by watching RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8. The first queen I ever saw walk in was Naomi Smalls, and she's a big inspiration to me. I finally got to start going to drag shows around Pride in 2022 and like actually get immersed in the culture and get involved in the OU drag scene a little bit. I started in Athens. Like my first drag show ever was at the Union, but since I got really busy building myself up in the Cincinnati scene, I just like don't have time and I don't really get asked to do stuff in Athens very much anymore, but sometimes when there's like a bigger show here, I get to do those. But in Cincinnati, it's a little more commercial, I'd say maybe, and people like actually do it for all of their income. Like all the money I make doing drag. I did my first ever show at the Union, and it was kind of life-changing because it was a lot of my friends there and the energy was palpable, it was electric, and the vibes were really high, and like just being on stage and having fun like that, I seriously thought to myself in that moment, like, this I could foreseeably do for the rest of my life. I have a lot of like apprehensions about working at a desk job because I don't see my personality like fitting into that at all. So doing drag is like a really big blessing. The way I see myself, I sort of have like a certain amount of feminine energy and fire to give, and drag is the single place where I can put it all there. I've discovered myself a lot with drag because I like think I have this natural feminine energy. It has been a lot of learning how to like balance my comfort as Jack with like giving my energy to Evelyn. So like a few years ago, my personal style out of drag was a lot more like flashy and flamboyant and crop tops and booty shorts and makeup out during the day and going out crazy. And since drag has like given me the space to channel that energy, I've been able to like relax into my style as Jack a lot more and get comfortable with my masculinity as much as I've gotten comfortable with presenting in a feminine way too. On the family front, things have been pretty good. And on the friend front too, because I'm not about to like fuck with the friend that doesn't fuck with me doing drag. That's just like, I have that power to say no. So there are like some situations though where online, in public, if you're in drag, it draws a lot of attention and you're gonna get some sideways glances. So I think over time, just being like a very ostensibly queer person and being out and loud and proud relentlessly since I was like 13, I've learned to just like to anybody who wants to come at me sideways. Actually, there's been a couple times in Athens where like walking home from the bars or something, people will be like, faggot, fully on the street. Like, you know, nothing has ever gotten physical or violent, which I'm really thankful for, but I do have a lot of anxieties about the potential of that happening. It's not outside the realm of possibility at all. I mean, I definitely feel afraid sometimes, but I'm like, I would probably rather get like hate crimed or beaten up than stop doing drag for real, because drag keeps my world turning. It's like my single largest motivator. It's the thing I like wake up and think about, and the thing that just like lights me up and I want to do. So I don't know, I can't see myself stopping drag for anything. Queerness has been criminalized a lot throughout American history, and even if drag is underground and like pushed to the wayside, the community is still going to find a way to do it. We're still going to find a way to unify, and we're still going to find a way to celebrate drag and ourselves. So like, no matter where the space is, no matter how like out loud it is or not, like I still think I would do it.
I'm ready to skin. Jesus Christ in a plastic slime. Fall in love again and again. Watch on your drive. Telling nice when she's a less time. Heartbreak in the distance. In a place that can make you romantic. Oh.
thing that like almost drove me to quit drag was how exhausting it is sometimes in itself. Like when the schedule gets busy, like, and you have to wake up at 9 in the morning to put your makeup on for brunch after you just worked Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like that shit is really tough. But like, because of anybody's opinions about it or because of any legislation that might be written about it, I'm not planning on stopping.
Related to that, what was your reaction to Trump's recent election win?
Devastated is like the first word that comes to mind. I think I was so hopeful and I almost couldn't imagine it. Like I couldn't conceive of a world where Trump had won. I was so confident and so convinced that Kamala was going to win. Like the whole time I've been in college and I've been kind of independent, Joe Biden was president. So like when Trump was president, I was in a Catholic high school and like it didn't matter to me as much because in my space, I was going to be a little suppressed no matter what. So Trump's presidency didn't really change things. But now that I'm more independent, I have a career that could like be ripped from me potentially. It's so much more palpable and the fear is so much more real now. So devastating for sure. But like once I talked more with my drag family and like once I got to get back to the bar, things felt a little more uplifting because I think I knew like the community had each other's back no matter what. Like everybody posted, everybody like rallied a little bit, everybody unified. And even like there are allies. We have straight allies. We have people that are still going to appreciate and uplift the drag community, even if like legislation doesn't. I came to the show and people were like, we're always here for you. We're always going to support you. Like you're in a miserable, terrible situation. You have allies. So, you know, I got a little pulled out of the devastating reality of the upcoming political situation.
Much less, now you're nothing but an ex. The cost of me I'm spending on the decks. You really wanna take it out and really direct, or you better come correct.
Why can't we all just band together and look at the bigger picture and see the bigger evils? And people are so dramatically and so intensely trying to just like push down a group of human fucking beings. They're only hearing information that breeds fear, and fear breeds contempt. And that is why like that pipeline and that exclusivity and that sort of like distance that people are creating with themselves in the queer community is why like there is so much accessibility for hate to be generated. People are afraid of it because they are it. Like they don't want to be introspective. I think like once you can accept that every single person has masculinity and femininity, and maybe like you can give yourself up to like an experience that might scare you. Like people are just so afraid to look at themselves in the mirror and see themselves for what they truly are that they just have to like release that aggression on the person that reflects the qualities in themselves that they hate the most. We're probably going to have to emphasize community and make sure that we're being proud and overt in our queerness in a place that's safe. Like maybe this like aesthetic transformation I've undergone as Jack, from going like from crop tops and makeup all the time every day to like this tone down, is a little bit of self-preservation, because I know like I have to think realistically about how I present myself on the street, because you never know who could, you know, snap that day. I know a lot of trans drag queens now. One of my closest sisters, Sasha, my own drag mom, is trans. And like for them, I'm like more afraid than any group of people, because I have the opportunity to present myself in drag and be feminine, or I can come dressed up like as a dude, be Jack, be fine. But like there's no choice for trans people, because it is like unbelievable for them to have to reject their own transness just to feel safe and comfortable walking down the street. It's especially devastating because I think they're the strongest advocates too. Like they're some of the most vocal people, some of the most eloquent, articulate, outspoken people. And they're the community I think that's getting most let down right now. I fear it's going to be an uphill battle from this point forward. I think like the queer community has been sidelined for like all of American history, and I don't know what realistically it would take to move forward, because prior to the election I was like, this is the moment, this is going to be like historically epic, and finally we're going to have an ushering into an era where everybody can be like free, where like expression can be accessible. And that didn't happen. So I think the veil was maybe pulled over my eyes. My hopefulness is drained just a little bit. But like the culture of America's right-wingedness might not change, but like the fight is also not going to change right there with it. So